Copper metal rub. Copper metal rub is a very easy to use finishing product that can be used over many different surfaces to achieve a very realistic copper finish. Now here we're going to mix up some resin that we've pigmented black, and we're going to use this piece to simulate an ornamental antique copper piece. Now, as with any polymer resin like this, we're going to mix our two components together, make sure they're properly stirred together, and pour that into a silicone mold. And this particular resin cures in about 10 minutes to where we can demold our part. And once we demold our part, we'll be ready to apply the copper beam metal rub finish. Now, it's important that we used for this particular process, that we used a silicone mold. If you don't use a silicone mold, you may have release residue on your part, and if you do have release residue, you'll always need to remove that residue with some kind of degreaser before you go on to the next step of applying any kind of finishing material onto that part. Now, you'll notice our part is a little bit green. It's still got some give to it. This particular resin takes about 24 hours to cure to a really tough, hard plastic. Now here's the copper metal rub, and this is a wax finishing material that we just dry brush over the surface, and we're going to grab a little bit of that metal rub on a brush, and it's always a good idea to test it on a clean surface just to see how much you have on the brush before you use it on your piece, just to make sure you don't over apply the material. With this particular technique, less is more, so we want to just carefully dry brush it over the top just to bring out the highs and lows of the piece. And the black resin just gives us a great background and gives us a nice antique copper look to our piece. And it just takes a little bit of work over the top, just a light dry brushing of the copper metal rub, and there we have our finished part that has a nice antique copper look to it.